When you first open Excel, a default name is given to the workbook. The name is Book 1 on the title bar. If you open another file, its name will be Book 2. These files are unsaved. To save the file, select the Save icon on the top left or use the shortcut keys by press Ctrl and S at the same time. In this option, we select Browse and look for the folder where we want to save the file. Let's name the file My First Workbook and press Enter. The name will appear on the title bar. Below the title bar are the ribbon tabs. These ribbon tabs show different options to work in Excel, and the options with similar function are grouped together. For example, the Home tab shows all the most frequently used options for formatting the cell content. The Insert tab shows the options to add new item into the worksheet. The Page Layout tabs are options to change the view of the page. The Formula tabs contain functions to manipulate formula, and so on. The File tab contains options relating to files, such as Save, Open, and Print. You can open new file by selecting these open options, browse, and look for the folder containing Excel file you want to open, and double-click on the file. Back to My First Workbook. The buttons on each ribbon tabs are grouped into smaller groups, such as Clipboard, Font, Alignment. If you want to see more options of this group, you can click the small icon at the bottom right of the group. A window will appear for you to select other functions. Since we don't use any of these options right now, click Cancel. If you are not sure about any of the button function, you just need to hover the cursor over the button, and a small message will appear to show you what the button does. You can hide these ribbon buttons in case you want a larger view of the worksheet area. To show the tab, you select any of the tabs and go to the bottom right corner to click at the thumb tag. Below the ribbon tabs are the name box and the formula bar. Right below them is a big worksheet area, which look like a table. Excel main worksheet area are divided into small cells. You can enter text or number into the cells. The reason for having the cells is to organize the data and index the data easily. To select any cell in the worksheet area, move the cursor to the cells and click. The cell position will appear in the name box. In this worksheet area, the columns are labeled by alphabetical letters, and the rows are labeled by number. The cell name or cell position is defined by putting its column and row labels side by side. For example, the cell that I select is in column E and row 5. Therefore, the name of the cell is E5. You can change the cell name in the name box. Just type any name in the name box. I name this My Data. If I move the cursor away from that cell, I can always go back to the exact cell by using its name in the name box. Next to the name box is a formula bar. You can use this formula bar to enter number or formula. Let me type a number into this cell, 1000, and press enter. The number shows up in the cells as well as the formula bar when you select the cell. To type a formula into a cell, we always start with equal sign. Let's key in 1000 divided by 2 and press enter. The formula bar will show me the details of the calculation, whereas the cell itself will show the results of this calculation. This feature is very important because it allows anyone who has an Excel workbook to be able to trace how a number was calculated. This is very intuitive and makes Excel popular. Let's move to the bottom of the worksheets area, where you will see Sheet 1. This is the name of the sheets that you are working with. You can have multiple sheets in an Excel file. To add new sheet, click the plus icon. The new sheet will have the name Sheet 2, Sheet 3, and Sheet 4. You can rename the sheet by double-click on the sheet name and type the name you want and press enter. If you have many sheets, you might want to highlight the important sheets with color. To do that, right-click and select Tab Color. Then select the color you want. Let's move to the bottom right of the worksheets. Here we have vertical scroll bar and horizontal scroll bar. These scroll bars help you to move around the worksheets. When you move the vertical scroll bar, you can notice that the row names are moving down. You can also use the scroll on your mouse to move down the worksheets. The last three versions of Excel 2010, Excel 2013, and Excel 2016 has the limits of more than 1 million rows and more than 16,000 columns, which literally means that any sheets you open in Excel can expand to that limit. I wouldn't recommend using Excel to do any calculation when your data reach half of that limit though. At the bottom right of the worksheet is a zoom bar. Let me open a file with data to show you the effect of the zoom bar. You don't have to understand this data. I only want to show you how zoom bar helps us to see the data. To zoom out, pull the handle to the left of or press this minus icon. You will be able to have an overview of the data to see how large it is. To see the details of the charts, you might want to zoom in by moving the handle to the right or click several times on the plus icon. To have a better view of the chart, we can hide the ribbon. Next to the zoom bar to the left are the layout options. These options are for printing preview. It's useful to check how your data look like on paper before you print it. You can also use the page break preview to preview the print without the margins. In this layout, The pages are separated by the dotted lines. Note that in this layout, although you can see the spreadsheet cells that look like table, it will not be printed. The cells are defined for us to work in Excel, not to print. To show the data we have in the table form when printing, we need to make sure that all the cells containing data have visible borders, such as in this spreadsheet. Only the cells with border in this spreadsheet will be printed as a table. To the left of the layout options, we have the status bar. Sometimes this status bar shows you some numbers and Excel status. Now the status is ready, which means you can add function, key in new data, and do any calculation. Later on, when you work with heavy calculation, this status bar will show the word busy, and you will not be able to enter new data or do any calculation with the spreadsheet. If that happens, you need to wait until Excel completes the work and the status bar is ready again to continue working with the worksheet.